Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Where's that music coming from? I swear every time I enter here, there's someone playing music. Anyway, now that that's out, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our 2026 Stupendous Summer Show. It is a great pleasure to continue the cheerful tradition of hosting our concerts, specifically our beloved summer show that fills the atmosphere with charm despite the sweltering heat and boredom. After a one-year sabbatical, the famous humongous red bow tie has returned to the stage. Anyway, thank you all for coming to our show, and a special thanks to our two new guests, or should I say troublemakers, who have joined us. Actually, they're no longer troublemakers since they're out of school in world history, but anyway, it's a pleasure to have a bigger audience, though not for the printer. Unfortunately, our renowned drummer, Tom the Tapper, cannot join us for today's performance, yet I am confident that we will still have a truly stupendous show. And also, Oreo won't have too many aggressive nose twitches. We were not able to have our Easter concert either due to mishaps in Madagascar. But even though the Easter Sunday is over, the hope embodied in Christ's sacrifice and resurrection continues to exist for eternity. Even though the holidays may end and times aren't as enjoyable, the ever-present hope of Christ will never cease. This Sunday, like every Sunday, is a commemoration of his glorious resurrection, in which the hope is made even more powerful. And surprisingly, this message is possibly the most important thing you can get from this show, though you should also pay attention to the ridiculous songs coming up. Anyway, to start our show, our first song will be a classic, memorable song that was featured in last year's summer spectacle. And I said that to cover up the fact that preparing for this show is quite tedious, and I didn't want to spend time writing a new song, but I still think it will be spectacular. The song is fittingly titled A Recipe for Disaster, found when you flip to the next page of the program, which for the first time in Franklin Parkian show history is in color. Now, Hollywood achieved this years ago, but anyway, it's still an accomplishment. Our thanks to Staples. Now, a quarter of this song will likely be catchy to our Romanian audience, as it is interspersed with Romanian dialogue, but they will likely be displeased throughout the rest of the song as it's in English. However, the program should help quite a bit and hopefully elevate the experience. Unfortunately, though, there will be nothing for our Russian audience. But anyhow, this song is about the very real struggle of baking Gramadica's plăcintă cu mere, or Romanian apple pie, which is very easy to gobble up, but a pain in the arsenal to make. Anyway, here's A Recipe for Disaster. I almost forgot. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here is A Recipe for Disaster. It was a pleasant summer's day at my grandmother's home, when we were craving some dessert, but there was none that we had owned. But we had all the ingredients for a delicious recipe, and my grandma came and said, "Hai să facem plăcintă cu mere." And I agreed. We gathered up the ingredients and got out the old cookbook, and I followed recipe so fast I cared not to look. But halfway through something was off, I noticed to my dismay, when my grandma saw it and exclaimed, "Acea rețetă este pentru caserola de dovlecei." I thought this recipe could be made in an instant or even faster, but little did anybody know it would soon result in disaster. If I had known about the mess it would cause us long before, then I wouldn't bother and just get some pie right from the store. I tried again with confidence and flipped to the right page. Prepared all the ingredients, my mind fully engaged. But as I started to shred the fruit, my eyes began to water. Then my grandma noticed and exclaimed, "Trebuie să razi un măr, nu o ceapă." This time we were truly prepared and made sure the ingredients were right. Then we followed through the recipe with no error in sight. But then we sensed something terrible right as the tasting started, and we spit it out as my grandma shouted, "Trebuie să adaug 200 grame de zahăr, nu sare." As we recovered from the taste so bad Dracula would cry, we were determined to try again, less salt going in our pie. As I worked along, I did things right, finally learning how to do it, until the smoke alarm began to sound as Grandma shouted, "Trebuie să-l găsești la 400 de Fahrenheit, nu la câteva minute." I thought this recipe could be made in an instant or even faster, but little did anybody know it would soon result in disaster. If I had known about the mess it would cause us long before, then I wouldn't bother and just get some pie right from the store. I ran as fast as possible, a situation very dire, and I managed to stop the oven's heat right before the house caught fire. Though at this point most chefs would quit and start rolling on the floor, I somehow had the energy to try again once more. After all these disastrous attempts and a waste of costly ingredients, we were finally done baking our pie, though it had cost us our convenience. I removed the pie from the oven's mouth and dusted it with no bulk, but then my grandma yelled in sheer horror, "Trebuie să-l pudrezi cu zahăr pudră, nu pudră de talc!" even more in hope of delicious pie. But our failed attempts and fiascos only caused us all to cry. All this work had come to nothing, and I started to pull out my hair, just as my grandpa came in disbelief and said, "Ce se întâmplă aici? Tocmai am cumpărat plăcinta de la magazinie." Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was a recipe for disaster, and it may or may not have changed your view of plăcinta cu mere, though it may discourage you from making it if you want to avoid scaring the FDA to death. Anyway, on to our next song. Oh, now we're going classic. This is actually the first song of my composer era that I composed way back in the summer of 24. Again, I'm technically recycling songs from all the way back, but hopefully you'll ignore that once you hear the catchy tune. By the way, it won't be featured on your program since it's an instrumental piece. This piece is the one and only Franklin Parkian Circus. It is a piece composed for piano with a circusy, clowny vibe and a catchy main melody that is performed in variations throughout the piece. ladies and gentlemen, that was Franklin Parkian's Circus. And it may just be Franklin Park's political theme song, just like many places these days. And thankfully, no clowns stormed during the piece, as due to their flamboyant, as it breaks our dress code due to their flamboyant outfits. Anyway, on to our next song. This song will likely be one of a familiar melody to many of you, but most will probably have quite a difficult time understanding, as if it's in a foreign language, because, well, it is another foreign language. This next piece will be our rendition of the ever-famous Mexican song titled Besame Mucho, which will be on the next page of the program, with the silly pictures. And who else could be a better addition for our Spanish portion of the show than our renowned singer, Grandpa Vincent, the Frank Sinatra, or Francisco Sinatra of Franklin Park. Will the Francisco Sinatra please come to the stage?
Yeah.
And to be more fitting for the occasion,
I don't know what to say, but all I can tell you is that only I sing when I am taking shower. Shower, yeah? I don't see this here. Okay, that's
is the microphone a good placement?
Okay.
Microphone up.
Alright. Anyway, alright, here's Grandpa Vincent on Besame Mucho.
Besame, besame mucho. Como se fuera esta noche la última vez. Besame, besame mucho. Que tengo miedo de verte perder después.
Gracias por su atención. Esto fue Besame mucho. Translation, that was Besame mucho. We have another linguist in the room. We not only have another linguist in the room, but a great performer as well, who seems to sing even better with a sombrero. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be serving tacos and tequila during our show. But I recommend a decent spot just a few blocks away if you get hungry after it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that ends the first half of our Stupendous summer show. Now there will be a roughly 5-minute intermission where you are free to chat, get up, or do whatever you wish. I mean whatever you wish that's moral. Until the intermediate comedy skit, which I'm confident will knock your suspenders off, titled La Maleta, or The Suitcase Tango. I hope you all enjoyed the first half of our Stupendous summer show, and I'll see you, actually I should say, I'll see you, you'll see me soon. That was a tongue twister. ladies and gentlemen, that was La Maleta, a new Franklin Parkian tango that would give you a good exercise at the airport, but could cause quite an awkward excuse to why you missed your flight. Anyway, I hope you were amused by the tango, and there will be another 5-minute intermission before the start of, yes, another half of our stupendous summer show. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of our stupendous summer show. Now, the first song of this act will likely be exceptionally entertaining, and it is titled Rule Rosemontia. You can probably tell what the song is about just from the title, but it's a parody of the famous British nationalistic piece titled Rule Britannia, glorifying the glorious town of Rosemont, a place probably more familiar to all of you. Of course, it's an irony that this is being played just a few weeks after the semi-quincentennial anniversary of our nation. What a mouthful. And it will be on the next page of the program, and we'll have a little delay, but we'll be starting shortly. And to those of you who attended the World History class of 2025 to 26, or at least attended twice a week with a brownie,
That's me.
you might recognize Cecil Rhodes on the bottom left picture. That is, if you paid attention, which we can all agree, none of us did well.
None of us.
When Rosemont's neon lights and grand hotels arose from out the banks of the Displains, arose from the banks of the Displains. This is the kingdom, the wonder in which dwells, and Donald E. Stephen sang this strain. Rule Rosemontia, the sights of major fame. Rosemont shall never, never fail to be entertained. Rule Rosemontia, the sights of major fame. Rosemont shall never, never fail to be entertained. What boring, desolate marsh this kingdom once was, to hotels, theatres, and convention centres gleaming with light, a quasi-metropolis right by the forest site. For civilization, a marvel such because this is the greatest place on earth we humbly indict. Rule Rosemontia, the sights of major fame. Rosemont shall never, never fail to be entertained. Rule Rosemontia, the sights of major fame. Rosemont shall never, never fail to be entertained.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like that song snapped my suspenders off. Anyway, it seems like Rosemont is taking a completely new approach to tourism by writing nationalistic songs. And to top that, it looks like they're even building a museum for its 70th anniversary. Let's just keep our fingers crossed, hoping that they won't colonize anyone soon. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, please let me change into my spectacle attire and ridiculously oversized bow tie. and return to this show being family friendly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately or fortunately for those of you who are tone deaf, we are nearing the end of our stupendous summer show. However, we are going to end it with a classic and renowned piece here in Franklin Park. By Franklin Park, I mean primarily this house on Nichols. Anyway, it is a long-standing tradition to end our shows with this piece, which also features a sing-along titled Franklin Park Polka, found on the last page of the program. Anyway, for those of you who are new to our wondrous eminent town, this song covers the quote-unquote wonderful sights and culture of Franklin Park. And it takes a much more benevolent approach than Rosemont and tourism, and will hopefully not cause as much international backlash. In fact, it is the unofficial anthem as Franklin Park, as I say so myself. And on the cover of the program page, you can see our mayor doing some dance moves, and for great reason. Since this piece is a sing-along, if you wish, which I highly recommend, you may either sing, clap, or if you're not socially awkward, come near the stage and dance at the second chorus. Not the first time the chorus is sung, but the second, which is also the last, and I'll give you a signal before the sing-along time. And last year we had quite a few claps and voices, and I hope to hear more. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy Franklin Park Polka. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here is Franklin Park Polka. We'll take a tour of Belmont and sing for the whole town to hear. We'll then feast at Subway and take a trip to Grand Avenue. Then we'll take a stroll around Grand Plaza, right from Domino's to Joe. Now let me tell you about a town where cheer never runs out. From Grand Avenue to 25th, there's fun without a doubt. The street lights and the neon signs bring out the late night shine. There's fun and cheer throughout our town. Just don't visit Mannheim. Our town is filled with peoples from around the globe, too many to name. On a single street you can go from Mexico to Poland without a plane. To Jewels, Subway, North Park, and Silver Creek we shall embark. We'll get the mayor's autograph and go to war with Schiller Park. Come on everybody, sing, dance, or clap along. Come down to Franklin Park, and we'll have a night of good cheer. ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That was the renowned Franklin Park polka, a song that every visitor to Franklin Park must hear, as I do say so myself. And I forgot to bring my clapinator, but I will determine whether there was enough participation when listening to the recording, though I did hear many claps, stomps even, and singing too, but no dancing, which makes sense. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that ends our 2026 Stupendous Summer Show. Although we didn't have our jazz band together, it was a great pleasure and was truly enjoyable to perform for all of you. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I appreciate your attention, that is if you paid any. Let's give one more round of applause to Grandpa Vincent, the Francisco Sinatra of Franklin Park, and a special thanks to our cameraman and future video editor, who will hopefully help me gain a ton of views on YouTube. So stay tuned to my channel, The Mozart of Franklin Park. And also, greetings to future viewers watching this on YouTube. Thank you all for watching our great show, especially to our special guests. And I wish you great memories and a good evening. A final point, when choosing between a visit to Franklin Park and Rosemont, choose the former. Good night, everybody.
I like this.